Everyone, today I want to talk about something we all experience at some point: disrespect. Whether it's in our personal lives, at work, or even online, people can be rude, harsh, and sometimes outright cruel. The natural response is to react, defend ourselves, or even retaliate. But have you ever considered the power of silence? Silence is often mistaken for weakness, but in reality it is a sign of immense strength. When you stay quiet after being disrespected, you show self-control, maturity, and wisdom. It allows you to rise above the situation rather than being dragged into negativity. Reacting with anger or frustration often gives power to the person who disrespected you. It fuels conflict, and more often than not escalates things further. But when you remain silent, you take away their power. You refuse to let their words or actions dictate your emotions. Disrespect is something that everyone encounters at some point in life, whether it comes from friends, family, colleagues, or even strangers. It can be in the form of harsh words, dismissive behavior, or actions meant to undermine your confidence and self-worth. While it is natural to feel hurt, offended, or even angry when faced with disrespect, it is important to understand that encountering such behavior is an inevitable part of life. People have different perspectives, attitudes, and emotional states, and sometimes their actions reflect their own insecurities, frustrations, or personal struggles, rather than being a true reflection of who you are. Disrespect can occur in various situations. Someone may belittle your ideas in a conversation, question your abilities at work, or mock your choices. In some cases, it may be subtle, like an eye roll or a sarcastic remark, while in others, it may be direct and intentional. Regardless of how it manifests, the way you respond plays a crucial role in determining the outcome of the situation. It is easy to react impulsively, matching their negativity with your own, but that often leads to unnecessary conflicts and emotional exhaustion. Instead, recognizing that disrespect is something everyone faces allows you to approach it with a level-headed mindset. Understanding that disrespect is common helps you develop emotional resilience. It prepares you to navigate social situations with confidence and patience, rather than feeling defeated or caught off guard. When you accept that not everyone will treat you with kindness or consideration, you can focus on how you choose to handle such moments, rather than dwelling on why they happened. This perspective empowers you to rise above negativity, reinforcing the idea that your self-worth is not determined by someone else's opinion or behavior. By acknowledging that disrespect is a universal experience, you also become less likely to take it personally. Instead of reacting emotionally, you can step back and assess the situation with a clear mind. Some people may act disrespectfully due to ignorance, jealousy, or even personal struggles they are going through. Understanding this allows you to practice patience and self-control, realizing that their words or actions are often more about them than about you. When you accept that disrespect is something everyone faces, you develop the ability to choose your response wisely, ensuring that you do not let negativity dictate your emotions or actions. Avoiding escalation is crucial when dealing with disrespect because conflicts often arise not from the initial insult but from how people react to it. When someone disrespects you, it is natural to feel the urge to defend yourself, argue, or even retaliate with equally harsh words. However, engaging in a heated exchange rarely leads to a positive outcome. Instead, it fuels the situation, making it worse than it initially was. The more you react emotionally, the more you contribute to an unnecessary conflict that could have been avoided altogether. By choosing not to respond, you take control of the situation and prevent it from turning into something bigger than it needs to be. When two people argue, both sides feel the need to prove their point, and in moments of anger, logic often gets replaced by ego and emotion. People say things they do not mean, and words spoken in frustration can have long-term consequences. A simple disagreement or insult can quickly escalate into resentment, damage relationships, or even violence if emotions are left unchecked. But when you remain silent, you refuse to let the situation get out of hand. You give yourself time to process what was said and decide whether it is worth addressing later in a calm and rational manner. In many cases, silence serves as a natural de-escalation technique because it prevents the other person from receiving the reaction they expected or hoped for. Another important aspect of avoiding escalation is understanding that not every insult or act of disrespect deserves your energy. Some people are simply looking for a reaction, and when they do not get one, their power diminishes. Arguments thrive on participation, and when one person refuses to engage, the conflict loses its momentum. Instead of feeding into negativity, you can choose to disengage, leaving the other person with nothing to fight against. This not only protects your peace, but also teaches the other person that their attempts to provoke you will not succeed. Over time, people may even think twice before disrespecting you, knowing that their words will not have the impact they intended. Taking away their power is one of the most effective ways to handle disrespect, and silence is the key to doing so. When someone tries to insult or belittle you, their goal is often to make you feel small, insecure, or emotionally vulnerable. They seek a reaction, whether it be anger, frustration, or sadness. The moment you respond with visible emotion, they gain a sense of control over you. Your reaction validates their attempt to get under your skin, making them feel successful in their efforts to provoke you. However, when you stay quiet and show no sign of being affected, you take away their ability to influence your emotions. Disrespect only has power if you allow it to. When someone insults you, their words are just empty sounds unless you choose to internalize them. By remaining silent, you send a clear message that their opinions hold no weight in your life. This can be incredibly frustrating for those who seek to get a rise out of you because they expect a response, and when they do not get one, they are left feeling powerless. They may try harder at first, throwing more insults or trying different tactics, but if you continue to remain unfazed, they will eventually realize that their efforts are in vain. Additionally, taking away their power through silence is a form of self-respect. It shows that you are confident enough in yourself not to be affected by negativity. People who are truly secure in their worth do not feel the need to respond to every insult thrown their way. They understand that someone else's words do not define them, and they refuse to let outside negativity dictate their inner peace. When you adopt this mindset, you gain a sense of emotional freedom, no longer controlled by the opinions of others, but rather by your own self-awareness and confidence. In many cases, silence forces the person being disrespectful to confront their own behavior. When someone expects a reaction and does not get one, they may start to reflect on their actions. They may question why their words had no effect, and in some situations this can lead them to recognize their own immaturity or rudeness. Instead of engaging in unnecessary battles, you allow them to sit with their own words, making them more likely to reconsider their approach in the future. By refusing to give power to disrespect, you not only protect yourself, but also subtly influence the behavior of those around you. Choosing your battles wisely is a skill that requires emotional intelligence and self-control. Not every act of disrespect deserves a reaction, and learning to differentiate between what is worth addressing and what should be ignored is essential for maintaining peace of mind. Some people will disrespect you simply to get a reaction, and engaging with them only fuels their behavior. Others may be acting out of their own frustrations, stress, or insecurities, and responding to them might not lead to any productive outcome. Instead of reacting impulsively to every slight or insult, it is important to ask yourself whether responding will improve the situation or simply add to the negativity. When you engage in unnecessary conflicts, you invest time and energy into something that will not benefit you in the long run. Constantly fighting battles over minor offenses can drain you emotionally and mentally, leaving you exhausted and frustrated. Instead of giving your attention to negativity, it is more beneficial to focus on things that truly matter. There are moments when standing up for yourself is necessary, but there are also times when silence and walking away is the smarter option. Being selective about when and how you respond to disrespect allows you to conserve your energy for situations that truly require your input. Moreover, responding to every act of disrespect can make you appear overly defensive or emotionally reactive. When people see that you are easily provoked, they may take advantage of that and continue pushing your buttons. On the other hand, when you remain calm and refuse to engage in unnecessary arguments, you establish yourself as someone who is emotionally composed and confident. Over time, people will learn that you are not someone who can be easily manipulated or dragged into pointless conflicts. This not only protects your peace but also earns you respect from those around you. Maintaining dignity is one of the most important reasons to stay silent after being disrespected. Dignity is about carrying yourself with grace and self-respect, even in difficult situations. When someone insults you or tries to provoke you, they are often looking for a reaction that will bring you down to their level. By responding emotionally, you risk losing your composure and saying things that you may later regret. However, when you choose to remain silent, you show that you are in control of yourself and will not allow anyone else's negativity to dictate your actions. People who carry themselves with dignity do not need to prove themselves through arguments or confrontations. They understand that their worth is not determined by someone else's words, and they refuse to engage in unnecessary drama. When you stay quiet after being disrespected, you demonstrate a level of maturity that sets you apart from those who rely on insults and negativity to express themselves. Others will notice this strength and will respect you for it, even if they do not say it outright. Furthermore, silence can be a powerful statement in itself. Sometimes refusing to respond speaks louder than any words you could say. It shows that you do not see the need to defend yourself against baseless insults, and that you are confident enough to let the moment pass without feeling the need to justify yourself. This type of confidence is rare and commands respect from those who witness it. When you handle disrespect with dignity, you not only protect your own self-esteem, but also set an example for others on how to handle difficult situations with grace. Self-reflection is another important reason why silence can be more effective than reacting to disrespect. When someone disrespects you, their goal is often to get a reaction out of you. If you engage in an argument, they may feel justified in their actions or even escalate the situation further. However, when you remain silent, you force the other person to sit with their words and actions. Without an immediate reaction from you, they may begin to question whether what they said or did was appropriate. This moment of reflection can sometimes lead to personal growth and realization on their part. People often speak or act disrespectfully in moments of anger, frustration, or insecurity. Once their emotions settle, they may start to feel guilt or regret over their behavior. If you had responded aggressively, it might have turned into a full-blown argument, preventing them from reflecting on their actions. But by choosing silence, you allow them the space to recognize their mistakes without any added pressure. In some cases, this may even lead to an apology or a change in their behavior moving forward. Additionally, self-reflection is not just for the person who disrespected you, it is also for yourself. When you stay silent instead of reacting immediately, you give yourself the opportunity to process the situation rationally. You can analyze whether the disrespect was intentional or just a result of a misunderstanding. You can decide whether addressing it later in a calm manner would be more effective than reacting in the heat of the moment. Silence allows you to step back and view the situation objectively, ensuring that your response, if necessary, comes from a place of wisdom rather than impulse. By encouraging both yourself and others to reflect, silence becomes a tool for personal growth and emotional intelligence. It prevents unnecessary conflicts, allows space for understanding, and ultimately leads to better handling of difficult situations. When you prioritize reflection over reaction, you cultivate an inner peace that cannot be easily disturbed by external negativity. Actions speak louder than words, and this principle holds true when dealing with disrespect. Many people believe that responding to an insult or confrontation with words will prove their strength, but true strength is demonstrated through actions, not reactions. When someone disrespects you, they are often expecting an immediate verbal response, a defensive argument, or an emotional reaction. However, when you choose silence and instead let your behavior, work ethic, and success speak for you, you show that words alone do not define who you are. Your response to disrespect does not have to be verbal. It can be in the way you carry yourself, how you continue to thrive despite negativity, and the way you remain unfazed in the face of provocation. Instead of getting caught up in unnecessary arguments, you can use silence as a way to channel your energy into self-improvement. Let your accomplishments, integrity, and confidence be the ultimate response to anyone who has ever disrespected you. People who insult or undermine you often do so because they hope to shake your confidence or make you question your worth. But when you continue to progress, succeed, and maintain your composure, it sends a much louder message than any words ever could. Over time, people will notice that you are not defined by petty disputes, but rather by the results of your hard work and determination. Furthermore, choosing to remain silent after disrespect allows others to observe how you handle difficult situations. Your ability to remain calm, collected, and focused will earn you respect from those who recognize the strength it takes to rise above negativity. People will remember how you reacted, not because you fought back, but because you chose to handle the situation with dignity. In the long run, your reputation will be built on your character and actions rather than on unnecessary conflicts or emotional reactions. The best way to prove yourself is not through words but through your ability to remain composed and continue striving toward your goals regardless of the obstacles others try to place in your way. Inner peace matters more than proving a point, and this is something many people fail to realize in the heat of the moment. When someone disrespects you, it is easy to feel the urge to defend yourself or put the other person in their place. However, in doing so, you often sacrifice your own peace of mind. Arguments, conflicts, and negative exchanges take a toll on your emotional well-being, leaving you feeling drained, frustrated, or even regretful about how you handle the situation. Silence, on the other hand, protects your inner peace by allowing you to detach from unnecessary negativity and focus on maintaining your own sense of balance. When you make inner peace a priority, you no longer feel the need to engage in every argument or react to every insult. You understand that your emotional well-being is more valuable than proving yourself to someone who does not deserve your energy. By choosing to remain silent in moments of disrespect, you are actively deciding not to let negativity influence your mood, thoughts, or actions. You give yourself permission to let go of situations that do not serve you rather than allowing them to linger in your mind and affect your happiness. Additionally, maintaining inner peace does not mean ignoring problems or allowing people to walk over you. It means knowing when to engage and when to step away for your own well-being. There will always be individuals who try to provoke you, test your patience, or challenge your composure. But your response is always within your control. When you master the art of silence in the face of disrespect, you develop a sense of emotional stability that allows you to navigate life's challenges without being easily disturbed. The ability to walk away from negativity and focus on what truly matters is one of the greatest strengths a person can have. You control your emotions, and no one else should have the power to dictate how you feel or react. Many times people allow external circumstances to determine their emotions, letting insults or disrespectful behavior affect their mood, confidence, or self-perception. However, when you recognize that your emotions are entirely within your own control, you no longer allow other people's negativity to influence your state of mind. Choosing to stay silent instead of reacting to disrespect is a way of reinforcing that control. It is a conscious decision to remain unaffected by someone else's attempts to provoke you. It is easy to believe that reacting in anger or frustration is a sign of strength, but in reality, true power lies in being able to stay calm and composed. People who cannot control their emotions often find themselves in unnecessary conflicts, saying things they later regret, or allowing their happiness to be determined by others. On the other hand, those who maintain control over their reactions exude confidence and self-assurance. When you remain silent after being disrespected, you are showing that you are the one in charge of your emotions, not the person who tried to upset you. Furthermore, understanding that you control your emotions allows you to approach situations with a clear mind rather than reacting impulsively. When you respond in anger, you often act without thinking, saying or doing things that do not truly reflect your character. But when you take a step back and remain silent, you give yourself the space to evaluate the situation logically. You can decide whether addressing the disrespect is necessary or whether walking away is the better choice. Either way, by remaining in control of your emotions, you ensure that your response is thoughtful and intentional rather than driven by temporary frustration. In the end, mastering emotional control through silence empowers you to handle life's challenges with grace. You are no longer a puppet to the words or actions of others, and you develop an unshakable sense of self-confidence that allows you to rise above negativity. The ability to stay calm, focused, and emotionally resilient is far more valuable than winning any argument or proving a point to someone who does not deserve your energy. When you recognize that your emotions are yours to manage, you take back your power and ensure that no one else has control over your peace, happiness, or self-worth. Not everything deserves your energy, and recognizing this is crucial for maintaining emotional and mental well-being. In life, there will always be moments when people try to provoke you, test your patience, or bring you into unnecessary conflicts. Some individuals thrive on drama and seek reactions from others to feel validated. Others may act out of ignorance, frustration, or insecurity, saying things they do not truly mean. If you react to every instance of disrespect, you will find yourself constantly exhausted, drained, and emotionally depleted. Not every battle is worth fighting, and not every insult deserves a response. Learning to stay silent after disrespect is a way of protecting your energy and choosing where to invest your emotions. When you spend too much time and energy on negativity, it takes away from the things that truly matter. Constantly engaging in arguments or responding to insults distracts you from your goals, dreams, and personal growth. Instead of focusing on your own progress, you become caught up in trying to prove a point to people who may not even care about the truth. But when you stay quiet in the face of disrespect, you save your energy for things that actually contribute to your success and happiness. You prioritize your peace over unnecessary conflicts, ensuring that your focus remains on what is important rather than on fleeting moments of negativity. Furthermore, reacting to every act of disrespect gives power to the person who is trying to provoke you. When you respond in anger or frustration, you are allowing their words or actions to influence your state of mind. But when you stay silent, you send a clear message that their negativity has no effect on you. You take control of your own emotions and refuse to let someone else's bad behavior dictate how you feel. This not only frustrates those who seek a reaction, but also teaches you the value of emotional discipline. Instead of wasting your energy on negativity, you invest it in yourself, your peace, and your well-being. People who understand the value of their energy do not waste it on things that do not serve them. They do not allow petty insults or minor acts of disrespect to disturb their inner peace. They recognize that not everything requires a response, and that sometimes silence is the most powerful answer. By choosing where to invest your energy, you ensure that you are using your time and emotions wisely. You focus on growth, success, and happiness rather than being dragged into unnecessary negativity. The ability to walk away from situations that do not deserve your energy is a sign of wisdom, strength, and self-respect. Moreover, staying silent after disrespect protects your mental and emotional well-being. Constantly engaging in conflicts or responding to negativity can take a toll on your mind, leaving you stressed, anxious, or frustrated. But when you choose silence, you create a barrier between yourself and negativity. You refuse to allow disrespect to affect your inner peace, ensuring that your happiness remains intact. The more you practice this, the more you develop an unshakable sense of confidence and self-control. You realize that your energy is precious, and you become more selective about where you choose to direct it. Instead of being controlled by negativity, you become the master of your emotions, protecting your peace and prioritizing your well-being. In the end, staying silent after disrespect is not a sign of weakness but a mark of strength, wisdom, and self-control. It allows you to rise above negativity, maintain your dignity, and protect your inner peace. Not every battle is worth fighting, and not every insult deserves a response. By choosing where to invest your energy, you take control of your emotions and refuse to let others dictate your state of mind. True power lies in knowing when to walk away, when to stay silent, and when to focus on what truly matters. In doing so, you not only preserve your peace, but also command the respect of those who recognize the strength it takes to remain composed in the face of disrespect.